Pals Ocala Auto Repair fixes all makes and models. Pals makes sure that your vehicle's engine, mechanical, and electrical components are healthy at all times. Pals team would much rather see you drive to their shop for a full checkup than be towed in for a complex repair. Give Pals a call today to schedule your next service appointment. 352-414-2984. What? A nationwide warranty, 36 months or 36,000 miles, whichever comes first? Pals looks forward to servicing you and servicing your vehicle. 352-414-2984.
WOCA. Ocala Business Leaders Incorporated is a group of independent local firms providing a wide range of quality goods and services. Each firm strives to maintain the highest level of professional integrity and 100% customer satisfaction. When you're looking for goods and services, call a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, and we are confident you will be pleased with the results. If you are interested in becoming a member of the Ocala Business Leaders, join us at the Ocala Elks Lodge, 25th Avenue in Ocala, any Wednesday at 7 a.m. and enjoy a breakfast on us. For more information, check OcalaBusinessLeaders.com. WOCA. Ocala.
And you're listening to AIM Ocala Live. Welcome back. I'm your host, Adam McEwen, as we roll through this Thursday here, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, broadcasting to you live from the Paddock Mall, streaming live, YouTube Live, WOCA, The Source Radio. As we've had a little eventful day today, as we're just rolling through it, it's downhill now to the end of the week, as we're making our way here as we go. And now it's time for our segment for
This Day in History.
As we take a look at certain events that have happened on this day, June 25th, this day in history, as we take a look back. I know we missed this segment a couple days in a row here, but we got it today. We've got a good list of items. We want to thank Tish for this one here, as we do take a look on this day in history at really some really interesting ones here nonetheless, as we take a first look going back to 1876. As we take a look at 1876, on this day in history, hang on a second, let me get myself together here. 1876, on this day in history, was the Battle of Little Bighorn, Custer's last stand during the Battle of Little Bighorn, where 600 men in the U.S. 7th Cavalry, led by George Armstrong Custer, were attacked by 3,000 Native American Indians consisting mostly of Sioux and Cheyenne, led by Crazy Horse. Within 1 hour of the attack, every last one of the soldiers was dead. Known to the Battle of Little Bighorn, known to the Lakota and the other Plains Indians as the Battle of the Greasy Grass, also known as referred to as Custer's Last Stand, on this day in history, was an armed engagement between combined forces of the Lakota, North Cheyenne, Arapaho, and 7th Cavalry Regiment of the United States Army. The battle, which resulted in the defeat of U.S. forces, that was the most significant action of the Great Sioux War of 1876, took place today, June 25th, into the June 26th, 1876. Along the Little Bighorn River in the Crow Indian Reservation in the southeastern Montana Territory. The fight was an overwhelming victory for the Lakota, North Cheyenne, and Arapaho. Excuse me, I pronounced it wrong earlier. Arapaho. that were led by several major war leaders, including Crazy Horse and Chief Gall, and had been inspired by the visions of Sitting Bull. The U.S. 7th Cavalry, a force of 700 men, suffered a major defeat while under the command of Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer, formerly a breveted major general during the American Civil War, as the 5 of the 7th Cavalry's 12 companies were annihilated, and Custer himself was killed, as were 2 of his brothers, a nephew, and a brother-in-law. The total U.S. casualty count included 268 dead and 55 severely wounded, as 6 died later from those wounds, including the 4 Crow Indian scouts and at least 2 Arikara Indian scouts. Public response to the Great Sioux War varied in the immediate aftermath of the battle. Libby Custer, Custer's widow, soon worked to burnish her husband's memory, and during the following decades, Custer and his troops came to be considered iconic, even heroic figures in American history. The battle, and Custer's actions in particular, have been studied extensively by historians, and the Little Bighorn Battlefield National Monument honors those who fought on both sides. So before we go taking that monument down, realize it was a fight on both sides that was getting the honor. As that was on this day in history, way back in 1876. Absolutely incredible when you think about the times in history when we look at certain things. What I like about this segment, by the way, is when we were in school and we always thought about more or less certain events that we were supposed to memorize or know of in history. What I think is fascinating about this segment is when I look at what is actually happening on this day in history when you look at a few things in general. So if we're going back to 1876, we're like, oh yeah, that's so far long ago. But when you think that it's a day with what we're dealing with today in 2020, it's a day that they were dealing with back in June 25th of 1876, and so many years on as we'll continue. But it's just fascinating that it was on this day in history, the Great Sioux War of 1876 brought on today the Battle of Little Bighorn, or as we know it, Custer's Last Stand. So very interesting there. As we move on to 1928, on this day in 1928, June 25th, 1928, it says Jewish National Home. The Jewish community in the United States has pledged to raise $3 million each year for the next 5 years to rebuild Palestine as a Jewish nation home. It was on this day that they made the pledge that they will continue to raise $3 million each year for the next 5 years to bring Palestine as a Jewish national home. 1928. 1938. In 1938, on this day in history, get this, swastika problems with Native American Indian businesses using the swastika, which is an Indian symbol of good luck and predates the modern world, including of the use of the swastika by the Nazi Party in Germany, and is causing those Indian businesses to stop displaying the sign due to people believing that it stands for the Nazis. And this is interesting, I always thought, because when we hear of certain history, we only put the swastika to the idea and concept of the Nazi Party because of what they were and what they were standing for during World War II when we fought that injustice and prejudice. And the idea is where the idea came from for the Nazi German Party to consider using the swastika, which the swastika is something that goes back way back as the idea of civilization, to using it as a symbol of good luck. And with that, it's kind of fascinating in the idea of how it looked early on, and then how the Nazi Party used it for their logo. But it's so fascinating because it's something like that we see that was in history, ancient history, that then brought up and been used in modern history, but then had such absolute negative connotations. as the history of the swastika is remarkably far-ranging. Versions of the design have been found in prehistoric mammoth ivory carvings, Neolithic Chinese pottery, Bronze Age stone decorations, Egyptian textiles from the Coptic period, and among the ruins of ancient Greek cities of Troy. Its most enduring and spiritually significant use, however, can be seen in India, where the swastika remains an important symbol in Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism. It's the etymology that of the word swastika can be traced to 3 Sanskrit roots. Su meaning good, astika exists, there is to be, or asta, su, asta, and then ka, to make good existence, that the collective meanings of those roots are effectively making of goodness or marker of goodness, just shows how far the Nazis dragged the swastika away from its Hindu association and the well-being and prosperity and dharmic auspiciousness that came along. The symbol, normally with its arms bent a little towards the left, it also known in Hinduism as the Sathyao or Swastika. Hindus mark swastikas on threshold doors and opening pages of account books and anywhere where its power to ward off misfortune can come in handy. And just incredible as it was, however, with the Indian religion and culture that was originally the source in which the National Socialists derived the swastika. Before it was adopted by the Nazis, the swastika had already been widely appropriated in the West. In fact, it had become something of a fad, seized up as an exotic motif that broadly denoted good luck, as the swastika even found its way into commercial design work for Coca-Cola, Carlsberg. The Girls Club of America went as far as calling it its magazine swastika, as its regrettable association with Nazism stems from the emergence of abroad of German nationalists after World War I that strived to piece together a superior racial identity. As we know and what we've seen from history, the identity was based on the notion of a shared Greco-Germanic hereditary that could be traced back to an Aryan master race. When the German archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann discovered the remains of the lost city of Troy in 1871, his famous excavation uncovered 1,800 instances in Troy of swastika, a motif that could be also found among the archaeologic remains of Germanic tribes. So it's just incredible where that's come through. And here we're talking about it 1938 as problems with Native American businessmen using it as they've always had it, with the same symbol that resonates to ancient cultures, and like we mentioned with India and Hinduism and other parts of the world prior to the mentioning of the Nazi Party, that it was used as a symbol of good luck. As we mentioned, predates the modern world with the swastika prior to the Nazi Party. And it was on this day in history that problems with that for Native American businessmen using that, as they were there to stop the displaying of the sign due to believing that it stands for Nazism and not good luck. And this is back in 1938. And it just goes to show you how in the culture of Germany at that time and how the Nazi Party had such a big influence that even in our country in 1938, that anybody using that symbol was asked to have it taken down because of what it was going to represent, as in the idea of the Nazi Party in Germany. Just incredible when I look at something like that. And it was on this day in history that they brought it up with the Native American businessmen back in 1938. Incredible. As we look at that. Now, as we move on here, 1943, in the midst of World War II, which what a segue there, brought on from the Nazi Party in Germany. It says World War II, it says Dwight D. Eisenhower, Major Dwight D. Eisenhower, takes command of Supreme Allied Commander in Europe as the supreme Allied commander in Europe. After proving himself on the battlefields of North Africa and Italy in 1942 and 43, Eisenhower was appointed Supreme Commander of Operation Overlord in 1944, the Allied invasion of northwestern Europe. It was on this day in history, after proving himself on the battlefields of North Africa and Italy, was appointed Supreme Commander of Operation Overlord. 1943, President Dwight D. Eisenhower, come to be later. As we move on, 1950. Wow, 1950 on this day in history, June 25th. North Korea attacks South Korea. Armed forces from the communist North Korea smash into South Korea, setting off, well, the Korean War. Was known now as the Korean Conflict, which lasted until 1953. It was called the Korean Conflict, but now we go back to calling it the Korean War, which lasted until 1953. That began on this day in history, 1950. The U.S. becomes involved as part of the United Nations effort to help the South Korea repeal the invasion of the North and pushes back to North Korea beyond the 38th parallel into North Korea territory. And following U.S. involvement, China becoming involved on behalf of North Korea, as they are still in the news for with the unrest there today. As that was incredible. 1950, there you go. As the beginnings of the Korean War, with North Korea invading South Korea in 1950, June 25th. 1951, as we move on, just a year later, at the beginnings of what was the Korean War. A little lighter note, 1951, on this day in history, June 25th, 1951, color television, the first commercial color television show, was transmitted by Columbia Broadcasting Company, CBS, which, by the way, CBS has always been in history, as mentioned, as the forefront of technology in television. And then it was on this day in 1951 that the Columbia Broadcasting System, or CBS, that's right, while color television sets were generally not available, it was estimated that about 40,000 people saw the first colored program. But it was on this day in history that the first commercial color television show was transmitted by CBS. Not sure which show that was right off the top of everything information right here, but 1951, the first color television show, as it was transmitted by CBS. Incredible to where we're at now with everything, but pretty cool nonetheless. So there you go, some really cool ones on this day in history as we come to the bottom of the 10 o'clock hour on this Thursday, June 25th, on this day in history. Stay tuned. County Commission up next as we round out our show right here. AM Ocala Live. Like we said, more good show coming your way. AM Ocala Live. Back after this. WOCA Ocala, WOCA The Source.
A vote scheduled today on the House Democrat-written police reform bill.
It includes language limiting qualified immunity, making it easier to sue police officers in civil court. The Democrats' bill also bans chokeholds on a federal level and no-knock warrants in federal drug cases, as well as lowering the bar for prosecuting officers.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. A Senate Republican police reform bill was blocked by Democrats there. Another nearly 1.5 million new unemployment claims were filed last week. It's a lot, but the 12th straight weekly decline with more businesses reopening. Disneyland's reopening is being delayed.
Disney had planned to reopen its 2 California theme parks on July 17th, the 65th anniversary of its flagship park, Disneyland. But the company says after learning California won't issue theme park guidelines until after the 4th of July, it had no choice but to delay the reopening of Disneyland and Disney California Adventure.
Fox's Carmen Roberts. America's listening to Fox News.
Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, talks about timeshare cancellation.
If I could help everybody that has been lied to when buying a timeshare, I would. But the honest truth is I can't. And those that are telling you that they can without knowing the specifics of your timeshare, well, they're lying too. But if you were misled when buying a timeshare, if you were told your timeshare was a great investment or your maintenance fees would never go up, I might be able to help. 10 years ago, I was sued for millions of dollars by a timeshare giant in federal court with everything to lose. My home, my money, my kids' future. But I fought. I won because I fought for what was right, helping folks that have been lied to cancel their timeshare. Unfortunately, we can't help everyone, but I guarantee you if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare contract or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-660-1771. 800-660-1771. 800-660-1771.
Partly sunny today with a strong thunderstorm in the afternoon, high 91 to 96. Tomorrow and Saturday, clouds and sunshine with a shower or thunderstorm around, high tomorrow and Saturday, 91 to 94. Sunday, clouds and sun with a shower or thunderstorm, high 91 to 94. Monday, cloudy to partly sunny with a shower or thunderstorm possible, high 91 to 94. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Brian May.
WOCA. As the state of Florida continues to reopen, the Get, Gather, Go initiative moves forward. We encourage you to get informed on how it's safe to go out, gather together with family and friends, and go spend locally by supporting local restaurants and shops, all while still observing personal protection guidelines. Let's support our amazing city. Post a picture while you're out and use the hashtag WeLoveOcala. For more information, visit WeLoveOcala.com.
Palm Garden announces Fast Track. Fast Track, focused assessment, safe transition. When a new guest is admitted to Palm Garden, we start with the ABCs. A is the assessment to determine what the guest needs. B is for basic care, which is excellent nursing and therapy. And C is for consistency to provide what's needed throughout the stay. Fast Track. Palm Garden will get you home fast, really, really fast. Take a fast tour of Palm Garden located at the corner of Southwest 27th Avenue and 34th Street.
Can you believe this? You can buy popular crepe myrtles in white for as little as $6.99 at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens. Well, you can because I just said so. And listen, many colors in the number 4 size, regularly $29.99, are $24.99 this week. And this super big white watermelon red and lavender crepe myrtles, they're up to 10 feet tall. They're regularly $2.99, but you buy one, you get one free, delivered, planted, and guaranteed. No doubt, Bob Wines is the place for crepe myrtles. Check this out, a gigantic selection of citrus trees, many bearing fruit right now, starting at $59.99, and you get a free bag of fertilizer with your purchase. And it's tree planting time. Buy one, get one at half price. It's this week at Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, the same blooming place since 1952.
Shamrock Security Systems, 629-3223. Shamrock Security Systems is located here in Ocala, Florida. Shamrock Security Systems is a top-rated alarm company offering 24/7 monitoring, video surveillance, fire and flood protection. You'll sleep a little better once the job is done. Shamrock Security Systems for over 31 years. 629-3223. Get a 100% free quote from Shamrock Security. 629-3223.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Veterans Helping Veterans USA. Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA, 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention, and God bless America.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
The Centers is here for you with services in person or via telehealth use, computer, iPhone, or Android. Or call us 352-291-5555.
Folks, are you tired of the broken promises from the Washington politicians? They promised to build the wall. They haven't. They promised to repeal Obamacare. They didn't. It's time we hold the Washington politicians accountable. Time we elect a businessman, not a politician. It's time we send Judson Sapp to Congress. Judson Sapp is a conservative businessman just like President Trump. Judson Sapp is a pro-life conservative, a life member of the NRA with an A rating. Judson Sapp will protect our Second Amendment rights and the rights of the unborn. Floridians can trust Judson Sapp to keep his word. Judson Sapp will stand with President Trump. Build the wall, repeal Obamacare, support our veterans, and make America great again. New conservative leadership. Businessman Judson Sapp.
I'm Judson Sapp, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Judson Sapp for Congress.
Prevention is important. Help prevent the spread of illness and keep yourself and others well. Here are some of the most effective ways you can prevent the spread of germs. Wash your hands by scrubbing thoroughly with soap and hot water for at least 20 seconds, and always wash before you touch your face, eat, or drink. Use hand sanitizers in addition to hand washing or where soap and water are not available. Limit sharing of items such as utensils, cups, and dishes. Avoid all physical contact with others, including handshakes and kisses. Practice social distancing by maintaining a distance of 6 feet from others. Sneeze or cough into a tissue or the inside of your elbow. Avoid contact with ill individuals and insist they isolate themselves. Sanitize frequently touched surfaces in your home and workplace several times a day. An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure. Download the free booklet at Scientology.org/stay well.
Looking for fun and educational online activities for children? Then check out Teaching Tuesdays, the Appleton Museum of Art's free weekly art project video series. These educational videos feature